Are you ready for fan-driven Razorback talk? For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton. All right, welcome into a special Inside the Hawg Pen post-game edition where Arkansas drops their first game of the first loss of the season. BYU defeats Arkansas 38-31. We're going to jump right into this. I'm going to go ahead and open the floodgates, MC, and the comment line is wide open tonight. Anything goes.
It's 10:47. We're after dark.
Anything goes. All just bets saying. Are off. Y'all just tell me raw, intense emotions. Let me have it. Welcome back, MC. I hate that it's on a loss, but welcome back.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that was asking about me. I had some family stuff I had to do Wednesday night, and
I have to ask. I'm going to go ahead and ask the $1 million question here. Is you start off really, really strong, really, really great.
Great start.
And this is NSFW, not suitable for work, not suitable for children under 18 years of age. So, Chloe, my daughter, if you're watching, please turn this off. But what the fuck happened? What?
I don't know, but we've seen this movie before.
Where do we start?
Well, okay, let's start right where you were talking about. Great start. Could not have asked for a better start to the game. Okay, AJ Green goes 75 on second, third play of the game.
Yeah, 2 plays, 75 yards. 76.
Yeah, defense forces a 3 and out. Satania takes the punt to the house, which was, you talk about somebody with some jets. Dude hit the jets. But we've seen this movie before, and I'm sorry, y'all. I like old boy Sam, but
it's time. Look,
we need to reevaluate some things. We need to stop sitting on the damn ball when we get a 10-point or more lead. It happens all the time.
I've been a Pitt fan for a while. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows.
Me too. Me too.
I just don't. The heat's got to turn up on his seat after this.
Well, it really does because
there's no excuse.
Let me go a little deeper, okay? The complaint last year, was when we get a lead, we sit on the ball, okay? Our play calling changes.
That's still the MO.
Yeah, it wasn't. Obviously, that wasn't a Kendall Browse thing because it's still happening. And the stupid side-to-side plays, and so help me God, why? Why do you line up in the shotgun on 4th and less than a yard?
I've been saying it for freaking weeks, man.
You've got a linebacker as your quarterback, okay? You've got a dude that when people hit him, they go to the injury tent. But we're lining up 5 yards back in the shotgun when we need to go this far.
Why? It's 6'4", 245 quarterback at home, no less.
Yeah,
okay,
you're telling me KJ can't get this far
at home, and you can't get half a fucking yard? Sorry, hey, all bets are off tonight. All language barriers are off tonight. Dylan's head's probably exploding somewhere. The Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback's wide open. Don't censor yourself. Let it out. We're here until you guys give in and just kind of cool off. We're going to jump right over to the Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback. Stephen G says, hey, Zach. What's up, Steve, man? Aubrey Sewell says, hey, guys. Brad Staten says, whoop pig suey. Brad, by the way, in one of our posts, when I made a post earlier about postgame, he said, I hope you guys haven't given up yet. I haven't.
I didn't give up till the 4th down play. I thought when BYU missed the field goal, the 50-yard field goal, I thought, okay, we've got a shot.
Yeah.
But
I left Boudreaux's. By the way, great crowd at Boudreaux's tonight. Great crowd at Boudreaux's. I left at about 3 minutes left to go in the game. I couldn't take it anymore. And apparently right after I walked out of the door, KJ decided to fumble the ball. Aubrey Sewell once again says, I'm so sad we didn't win. I would not use the word sad.
I'm frustrated. I'll just be honest. I am very frustrated. There's no way that a team that was as talked about in the offseason as this team was, you can't lose this game. You cannot lose this game in Fayetteville.
Guys, make sure you guys like, share, follow, subscribe, share this tonight. We want to get everybody in the fan base involved tonight. And I'm going to try to get to all of your comments. I'm going to try to get to every single one of them. So, MC, we may be in for a late night. Edward says, it happens. Of course, Aubrey once again chimes in and agrees with Kevin. And here we go. Tyler Ringo says, legend has it. Number 62 is still holding something. Yeah.
Golly, man. That, I
have no words. That's the thing is y'all know
100, what'd you say, 145 yards of penalties?
So let's jump into these stats real quick, MC, while through these comments. BYU had 7 penalties for 45 yards. Arkansas had 14 penalties for 125 yards. 125 yards. 125 fucking yards. What in God's green earth? By the way, I would just like to go on record and say that wasn't offensive pass interference. That wasn't roughing the freaking passer.
That's the two that really kind of bothered me. you're gonna have crap calls in every game, especially Arkansas.
Wait,
Those two,
late in the game, BYU went for the fake field goal, right?
yeah.
Okay, where was the flag? Why? How did it go from where it was to a? Well, it was a delay of game call, but
Delay
there
of
was no
game.
flag.
Now I was watching. Okay, I was watching close.
MC, there was no stoppage of play on a delay of game.
No,
that
supposed to be dead ball foul.
That is a dead ball foul. So what the hell?
Yeah, it was almost like I don't know. It's almost like they were waiting to see what the outcome of the play was on that one.
Keep the comments coming. We are going to try to get to every single one of them tonight. Garrett Ray says the fact that wait, where did it go? My computer went screwy there for a minute. But the fact that we didn't do well on third downs and missed field goal costed us. Oh my God.
Third down, 2 of 14.
2 of 14.
2 of 14. 125, 135, 185 yards of penalties. I don't care what it was. Over 100 yards of penalties, 2 third down conversions all night. You can't win like that.
I'm going to go ahead and say it because everybody's thinking it. KJ's regressed.
100%. Yeah.
KJ's regressed.
Here is my opinion on that. Okay.
Wait, before we go any further, hold on, MC. Let me make one thing very clear.
All right.
I'm not attacking KJ. I am criticizing his play on the field. The young man is amazing. He's great. He's awesome. He is a fantastic young man. But his play on the field this season has regressed severely.
And here, this is just my take on this, just of what I have observed. I think KJ is thinking too much. He's overthinking, and he's not being allowed to do what makes him the good quarterback that he is.
Yeah.
He's not being allowed to cook. They're not letting the man cook.
Stephen G says, I just have to say thank you for taking care of Luke Haas. Jay Burrows
had a good game tonight, man.
Jay Burrows says the refs screwed us. Yeah, they did. It's wait
there's,
for it.
There's
wait
bad
for
calls,
it. Wait for it.
I mean,
Mark Curls 2.0. Thank you very much. Brandon Laughlin says, going to go ahead and say it. Our O-line got their tails whipped all night, but get it together for next week against LSU, or it's going to be a long night. Oh, I'm dropping bombs tonight, y'all. So make sure you keep sharing this. Make sure you guys keep sharing this because I want every single person we can get involved in the comments tonight. Carrie Story says, going for it on 4th and short, good call, but doing it out of the shotgun is dumb when you have a man-child at quarterback.
My man, Carrie. Yep. That's spot on. I mean, I didn't mind the decision to go for it on 4th down, but when I saw us line up in the shotgun, it was a very WTF moment.
Garrett Ray, fuck the refs. Exactly. Chuck Pendergrass says, love Pittman, but this team seems to be getting worse every year.
There's a disconnect somewhere. And, we blamed it on Odom. We blamed it on Bryles. We blamed it on Dow Loggins. All those guys are gone, but we're still having – now, the defense overall,
yeah,
you give up 38 points, but I still feel like overall the tackling was good. They caught us napping a couple times on a couple plays, and we had a couple that, just
Brandon Laughlin says, somebody said, I'm sorry, but Pittman is just Brett Bielema 2.0.
Well, I mean,
the Heat, look, I'm just going to say it right now. This was a win. This should have been a win. Okay.
Should have been. Yeah.
You were up 10 points, 31-21. The game was in hand.
In the third quarter, yes.
In the words of John Candy in one of my favorite movies of all time, Cool Runnings, you were ready and you choked. Essentially, that's what happened. Yeah. Is it not? Is Sam showing a Bielema game plan? John Caldwell, you're in and you're out, mediocre. My whole family's from Arkansas, and I've been a fan since I was a kid. All my uncles and cousins were fans, so I became one very young. Will we ever get over the hump and become consistently competitive? And over 100 yards and penalties is uncalled for in an undisciplined team.
I agree completely with the last sentence.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Gary says he's better than Chad, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, that's kind of like saying a bologna sandwich tastes better than a turd. So that's, it is an upgrade, but not.
Stephen G, good question. He's a good guy, man. He says as someone who just watched who was just watching the box score, did BYU beat y'all or did y'all beat yourselves?
Steven, Arkansas went full Arkansas.
Yeah, not as Arkansas as you could get.
Arkansas had a 2-score lead at 2 separate points in the game and shit the bed.
Yep. By the way, if you've got small kids watching this, and if my 14-year-old daughter's watching this, turn it off.
Turn it off. And y'all know me, I'm not one to usually just
By
let
the way,
loose like that. But
I will say this. I did get a text message today, and I would be remiss if I did not if I did not mention this. But we have a brand new Razorback fan in the Hawg Pen fan. She was born just over 6 weeks ago.
Nice.
Out of Virginia. Her name is Evie Williams. So welcome, little Miss Evie. So had to mention the new Hawg fan of the group.
Absolutely. We need a little bit of good news tonight, so that was good.
Well, I got a little bit of good news. Jonathan Parker, nail on the head. Sam doesn't seem like he wants to murder anyone when he smells blood. No, he doesn't.
He needs a little more John Kreese Cobra Kai. We need no mercy, okay? We need to quit worrying about being the nice guy and afraid of what somebody might say if we put a big lead on somebody.
The good news, if you want to look at it, the good news is you got 424 yards of total offense. All right, 247 through the air, 177 on the ground, 21 first downs. Time of possession was about 33 minutes and change. The other good news is the announced attendance was 74. What did I say at pre-show, MC? 74. Yeah, 74, 821. 821.
8.
Which makes it the eighth largest crowd in stadium history. So, other than that, I mean, and the weather was great. Other than that, it was a complete shit show on our part. You know, the BYU fans, great as always. I did not hear anything negative out of BYU fans as far as Arkansas goes. They welcome them with open arms. But Katie wants to know, where the hell did all these new penalties come from? Big 12. So here's the thing. Big 12 refs are wussies. By the way, random, that's not the word I wanted to use, but I was trying to keep it at least a little PG, but we've already dropped the fuck bomb, the shit, and everything else, so that just went out the window. By the way, I would like to point out, MC, 30 seconds to go in the first half, Colorado State's up on Colorado 21-14.
And moving the ball.
So there's that. Jonathan Parker, what was the penalty count? So here's your penalty count again for you guys that are taking notes. BYU had 7 penalties for 45 yards. Arkansas had 14 penalties for 125 total yards.
And good calls, bad calls, horrible calls, whatever. Anytime you have over 100 yards of penalties, it's going to be very difficult to win the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then you throw in 2 turnovers on top of that, and then you throw in on top of that 2 third down conversions all night long. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to ask the same question that everybody else is just thinking is, what happened? You cannot, and I kept thinking about this all the way home. You cannot tell me that BYU was that much more talented. Was it?
No,
I'm tripping over my freaking words here, but I will not stoop to Brandon Laughlin's level at the moment. He said, at this point, just bring back John L. Smith. I would rather have John L. Smith at special teams, Chad Morris at offensive coordinator, John Chavis at defensive coordinator, and freaking Gus Malzahn at head coach at this point. You know, not really. I'm just playing off of your comment here. Garrett says, but that call about BYU substitution and we get the penalty was bullshit. What was that?
I don't know. I don't know what the call was there. I know kind of what he's talking about, but I don't remember the scenario. I know it was sometime in the fourth quarter. But it never should have come. I mean, here's the thing, and I have changed my tone on bad calls over probably the last year, maybe 2. You've got to take care of business and not put yourself in a situation where one absolutely atrocious call makes a difference. Because you're going to have bad calls every single game. If you're an Arkansas fan for any amount of time at all, you know we're going to get at least 3 shit calls every game.
Yep.
You've got to take care of business to where you can overcome those.
It amazes me that we got as many shit calls as we did.
There was a few. The one the offensive PI on Haas on a big third down conversion, that one hurt. That one hurt really bad.
I looked at that like 4 or 5 times and I didn't see the offensive PI on that at all.
Well, the argument is that he did kind of shimmy him a little bit, but the argument is that it wasn't clear that the ball was already in the air when he made his little move. So
Matt Hart says the O-line didn't move their feet. Whole problem. Pressure without blitzing is a device of heaven.
O-line didn't do much of anything.
Heaven. I'm sorry.
After the AJ Green run, they didn't do much all night.
So I like Chris Chambers' comment because this is kind of where I was headed towards the end, but we can jump into it right now if you want to because, hey, that's what we do here. Tell me where we get 2 more wins. Please give me hope because I don't see any. Thanks in advance. I am going to go ahead and drop my first nuclear bomb of the night. We don't win 6. I am retracting.
Not playing like this.
I am retracting my statement from 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. We don't win 6 if we keep playing like this.
Not playing like this, you don't.
We have to be the most improved team in the SEC if we are going to win, even sniff 500 at this point. Chris, as far as the other 2 wins,
I don't know, dude.
FIU.
Okay, yeah, there's one.
FIU and
maybe Mississippi State, maybe.
Not even that, because going into the season, I was like, Missouri, and then they set the SEC fucking record for longest field goal kick.
From the state line.
Not just the season. Not just the season.
Yeah.
An SEC history. 61-yard field goal with no time remaining to beat a top 15 team.
Yeah.
I
watched a lot of that game. That was
the big. I don't even think Florida's winnable at this point. Like
they put a beat down on Rocky Top tonight.
I did
not see that coming.
I didn't see this one coming either, dude.
No, I didn't. Well, but I mean, dude, the SEC struggled across the board today. I mean, look at Alabama. Alabama, I mean, it ended up 17-3, but you're only going to put up 17 points on South Florida.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia struggled with South Carolina for a little bit.
Yep.
But we're going to take a breath. We're going to take a quick breath and recollect, and then we'll come back and continue with your comments on Inside the Hog Pen. Post-game of the BYU loss, 38-31. Arkansas loses. We'll be back on the other side of the break right after this. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Litter Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers from across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Litter Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen Post-game show, BYU, Arkansas is defeated by BYU. I had two different notes going into
Try to speak it into existence.
I tried, but BYU pulls off the upset, I guess it would be called. And defeats Arkansas 38-31 on a complete shit show of a night for Arkansas. We're going to jump straight back into the Harris Made Chef Services live fan feedback. Garrett Ray says, started strong, then gave him a chance to tie it up in the first quarter, and then up, then BYU tied, then BYU up, then we were up by 3.5, then Garrett Ray, slow down, dude. I could not keep up with that. Hey. Travis Slack says, not sure how a head coach who's made a living coaching offensive lines can have the worst Arkansas O-line in 25 years. I can promise you the 2018-2019 offensive line was much, much worse. Not by much, but it was much, much worse. Here's the thing, and I want to preface this by saying that I'm not on the fire Sam Pittman train yet. But
I'm not there. But
I do think his seat needs to be. I think the fire needs to be lit.
I think he better take them old cold beers and put them on his seat to help cool the seat down a little bit.
And I get that it's a new system. You got a new offensive coordinator. You've got new this, new that, blah, 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 fucking blah. But
we're not the only team in America with a new offensive coordinator, though.
You've got 30 years of experience in offensive lines, and you're trying to tell me this is the best we can do? You're trying to tell me this? Cody Kennedy, bye. He don't even need to be let back into the Fred Smith Center tonight. Bye.
Yeah, I didn't mean to pull this up right this instant, but
no, you're good.
I'll get to that in a minute. I'll pull that back up in just a minute.
Right.
Because that is a former player airing his grievances on Twitter. Happens to follow me. I follow him. So I'll throw that up here in a minute. Yeah, Bijan Jackson.
I saw it.
And he's got some great points that we'll get to in a minute. But I mean, to kind of finish up this point, I'm not on. You can't fire him right now. If you come up and this ends up being a sub 500 season, then I think you have to consider it and here's why. Because with the way NIL portal everything is right now, you can't sit back and wait.
So here's my counter argument to that.
Okay.
Who in the hell would you get at this point?
I mean, that's the question every time it comes around.
No, and I'm sorry, but in the state, that college football is in right now, name one coach that outside of Pitt that wants the Arkansas job.
Yeah, I don't know.
Arkansas is not a bad program. Fayetteville's not a bad area. All right, it's not. Just ask Musselman. All right, just ask DVH, Jordan Weber, Courtney Deifel. Here's the problem with football. Is you're surrounded by powerhouses. And I've said it for years. You are surrounded by powerhouses. Alabama, LSU, A&M. Now you add Texas and Oklahoma to the mix. Oklahoma looks unstoppable.
They look pretty good today.
Okay. That's your issue, is you're kind of stuck in the middle. These, and I love the fans. Don't get me wrong. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys. But some of you have these outrageous wishes and hopes and expectations for this program. We are not going undefeated. We are not going to win a national title. We are a perennial 8-win, maybe 9, maybe 10-win team. That's not a bad thing. The
10 is going to be rare. It's not going to be.
Does it get redundant? Yes, it gets boring. But you know what? You're over 500. You're in a bowl game every year. Life is great. But if you fire Pitt now, you're going to have to start all over again. And in another 4 years, you can't just because a coach.
You can't.
Just because a coach has one bad game, you can't fire the coach and expect the next coach to pick up and win a national title.
And this was a bad loss. And this was a very bad loss. And it's one that he should be held accountable for.
Adam Green's pissed, by the way. I don't blame him.
He's pretty hot.
I don't blame him. Fire Sam Pittman. Terrible coaching tonight. Sat there and watched it all tonight. This team has no motivation. Sideline was dead all night. I mean, yes and no. Man, I love the fact that you guys are getting in on these comments. Casey Sutton bringing some good news in. Hey guys, Zach, thank you for the pictures of the truck carrying Tusk in honor of Keith Stokes. That, if you guys haven't seen it yet, the Stokes family on the side of the semi that carries Tusk to and from Razorback events put on the side of the truck in loving memory of Keith Stokes.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So that is what that is in reference to.
That's very cool.
Like I said, if you're just joining us, make sure you guys share it. I want all Razorback fans involved tonight. BYU defeats Arkansas 38-31. Brandon Laughlin, here's the thing. And he brings up let's talk about this for a minute. The Skittles thing has now become a distraction to me. Kind of like the Starkle Sparkle and the Bieber shirt.
Yeah.
Because remember, that whole team, those 2 years was complete shit anyway. But he was playing semi-decent, and then all of a sudden people started making fun of the Bieber shirt and the Starkle Sparkle, and we see what happened. If you can't beat them, join them. And that's exactly what he did. He went and played his ass off at San Jose State and won all these accolades. John Caldwell says another round of Dan Enos.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with Enos so far.
I'm beginning to think it's Cody Kennedy. I think Cody Kennedy's the one that needs to go.
I think he's a big part of the problem, but the play calling tonight I thought was horrid. What happened to? Let me get up here in the mic where y'all can hear me. What happened to the play calls of looking downfield? And I know the offensive line being crap has something to do with that, but you can put KJ on the move a little bit. And I go back to the point, KJ is
the last.
He's looking. And I feel like he's overthinking it. I really do.
He's trying to go for the home run ball when we don't need a home run. We just need a base hit.
Well,
to mix up sports here. Pete.
Yeah. But I think that, while it's good that he looks through his progressions, KJ he's always been one of these players. What makes him good is his ability to improvise. Trying to turn him in. Yeah, Kerry's got a great point here. Trying to turn him into a pocket passer, but he's a college running quarterback. 100%. Absolutely. I texted somebody tonight. I don't remember who it was, but I texted somebody tonight and I said, we're not going to win games if Dan Enos keeps trying to convert KJ into Brandon Allen instead of letting him be KJ.
He needs to let KJ be KJ.
The man cook.
Trying to turn him into a pocket passer, but he's a college running quarterback. Jason Staggs says, and the substitute call was BS because they did, and he was set, and they left the man wide open and could have taken it to the house, and they stopped it.
Yeah.
They had the personnel on the field. They had the personnel on the field, and just I don't – MC, if there's a comment on here that you want to look at, let me know.
Okay.
I
mean, they're coming hot and heavy, man, so it's kind of hard to keep up.
Hey, and I kind of did this. We're trying to get to all of them as possible. Steve Foster, when it's fourth down and you need half a yard, why do you have your 250-pound quarterback in the shotgun? Explain that.
That seems to be the question of the night, Steve.
That's been my first sixth grade football game. Here's the thing. You don't. Plain and simple. All right? I've watched 30 years of football. Okay? I've spent the last 15 literally analyzing the game of football that I watch. And majority of them, 99.9% of them have been Razorback games. You don't, if you've got a mobile quarterback who is 6'4", 250, you don't put him in the shotgun. We've talked about it for weeks now, MC.
Mm-hmm.
You don't try if you're
Well,
why
apparently,
if it's a 4th and 2, 4th and 1, or 4th and inches, you go for the inches game, ladies. Hear me out here. You go for the inches game rather than trying to go 5 yards for 3.
that's the thing. You're putting yourself, you're making it harder than it should be, because when you need 4th and 1 or 4th and less than 1, and you're lining up 5-6 yards back, whatever it is that's in the shotgun, you're making this harder than it has to be, and I don't understand it. And you see it, and it's not just Arkansas. I've seen it at other places. I've seen it at high school level, but it still makes no sense to me. It's like, again, we're gonna cross sports here and put another sports analogy in here. It's when you're coming down in a 3-on-1 situation in basketball, and instead of moving the ball around and getting a layup, you stop and shoot the 3. To me, that makes no sense, because you're giving up a 2-foot shot for a 19-9.
And I've made that mistake. I
blame Steph Curry for that, but that's a different argument for a different show.
Well, I mean, I was never good at basketball anyway. So,
but Steve was spot on there.
John Caldwell wants to know, serious question: when or how do you think we ever get over the hump?
Hey man, if I knew that, I would share my knowledge with Hunter Yurachek and Sam Pittman.
There's a reason that we always say Hawg's gonna hog. This is the most Arkansas thing that has ever happened to us tonight. And it's exactly what we thought it was gonna be. I don't know as far as how big of no pun intended here, but how big of a hump are we talking? Okay. I mean, if you're talking about winning the national championship, it's never going to happen. I'm sorry. Be realistic here, peeps. Okay, be realistic. And y'all can hate on me all you want. He's a hater. He's not a real fan. No, I'm a realist. Okay, I'm not a cynic. I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. Okay, Arkansas is not going to win a national championship in football. They're not. Not when you're competing with Texas, Oklahoma, LSU, Alabama. Okay. Georgia. It's just not going to happen in this conference. And no, before y'all say Arkansas needs to go to the Big 12. No, they don't. All right.
I jumped ahead, but I thought this was.
No, you're good. Hey, you're gonna have to take over. You're gonna have to take over because my mouse is burnt out.
John Wesley Garner, not on the fire pit train yet, but definitely at the station. This one really leaves a sour taste in your mouth, because this is one that you feel like this is this as bad as the Liberty loss?
Honestly, MC, I think this was worse.
I think so too, because you don't have, you had the excuse in the Liberty game. Oh, KJ's not full health.
And we didn't have, number 2, we didn't have a backup quarterback that we could trust.
Right. Now, you didn't have Rocket tonight, but
we
heard all offseason, we heard deepest running back room that we've had since, Peyton Felix and McFadden.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was, I think it was Katie that had asked the question, is KJ really this bad without Rocket?
I mean, you take a 1,400-yard back out of your backfield, it's going to change the way defenses approach you.
Did you see this one by Rick Mazzico? Rick, I hope I said your name right, sir. If I didn't, I apologize. Well, Pittman fired Enos to save his own job. The offense is predictable and as inconsistent as the offense was under Chode. I don't.
Not after one season, he won't.
After 3 games, no. Nobody. Here's the thing, y'all. Nobody's getting fired tonight. Nobody. Contrary to what I want Cody Kennedy gone.
Nobody's getting fired before the end of the season. Pittman doesn't strike me as the type that would fire anybody in the middle of the season. If I'm on a fire train, it's fire Cody Kennedy, the offensive line coach. And yeah. In all honesty, I fire Cody Kennedy and let Pitt run the offensive line.
because that
Something's
will
got to change.
Well, because here's the thing. If you do that, then if the problem persists with the offensive line, then everybody can point at Pittman and go, it's your fault. The only reason they're pointing fingers at him now is because everything falls on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. Everything, because he has the title of head coach. That's it. Dwight Raleigh says, hey, y'all, what's up, Dwight? Hope everything's well with you, buddy.
I'm looking ahead here. Adam Green. Pittman has let Enos come in and shut KJ down. KJ was mad all night. It's like shutting down your best asset. KJ makes no sense. I'm with you. I've said it on here 3 or 4 times already. Let KJ cook. We're not letting him cook. We're trying to force him into being a quarterback. It's like Kerry Story said earlier. We're trying to take a running college quarterback, a true dual threat, and turn him into a statue pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not his game. That is not his game. It's not going to be his game. He is a Lamar Jackson type. He's not the speedster that Lamar is, but he's got to have that dual threat. That's what makes him dangerous.
Yeah. Daniel Helms says one bad game. Just one? That's an interesting take. I mean, we're talking bad game current season. Now, if you're talking career-wise, since he's been at Arkansas, yeah, there's a couple of them.
Yeah,
we're talking.
This is not the first time we've seen this movie.
No, this is not the first. But it's like watching the same thing over and over again. The definition of insanity, man.
Richard Burns, another good comment. KJ was not happy tonight. Something's up there. Something's brewing with him. Feels like he is being possibly held back. Are we afraid of him getting hurt? I think that's part of it. I think that is a huge part of it. And I think it's coming more from the coach's side rather than KJ. But I will say this. There was a run that KJ had in the first half where he broke out into the open field, had the opportunity to truck a safety that was much smaller than him, and he stepped out of bounds instead of just trucking the safety and getting the 7. That, while that's probably the smart decision for his career, we've not seen him do that before. In years past, KJ's trucking that guy, and he's getting his 6 in the end zone.
Something just – the whole team felt off tonight. It did not look like the team – It did not look –
after BYU come back and tied it up at 14 – it was just, I don't know. Something was just off.
You know what this reminded me of? And people are going to hate me for this. You know what this reminded me of? Texas A&M a year ago this time.
I could see that.
It changed it. That one game, in that one moment when they fumbled that line on that Texas A&M game, when he fumbled on the goal line, okay, that whole season turned on its head. Same thing.
Jonathan answers my question about, is this worse than Liberty loss? He says, yes, worse than Liberty, because we had a 10-point lead twice in this game. That's fair. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Fair point.
4 minutes into the game, we're up 2 touchdowns, and we've got the ball back again. And, and then, honestly, when we went up 31-21 in the third quarter, I started feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, because, we had come out. It appeared that we had made halftime adjustments. We come out. We had a really good drive to go down and score to go up by 10. We come back. We forced a 3 and out. And things were looking up. It looked like, okay, we're on the verge of putting this thing in control. But it just didn't happen.
It just the thing about it was when you stop and look at it, we beat ourselves.
100%.
We beat ourselves.
100%.
Honestly, I'm hoping and praying, and we know how well that works out, but I'm hoping that if this was just a complete fluke, and they were too focused on looking forward to LSU. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. And I hope that there were, I saw on Twitter, which I'm about. Carolyn, I'm going to get to your point right here, and then I'm going to go to Bijan Jackson's comments about the offensive line.
Well, save the Bijan because we're going to come out. Well,
Okay.
We got to take another quick break, but when we come back from break,
all right. I didn't see the clock. My bad.
But yeah, go ahead and wrap this segment up.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the holding calls. I mean, you talk about. I mean, yes, the old saying is you can call holding on every single play, but I felt like the calls that were made there at the end of the game where he got 3 penalties in 5 plays. I mean, those are pretty legit calls, man. One of them, he had a guy by the shoulder pad trying to, keep him off of KJ.
62 is for BYU or for Arkansas?
For us.
So that was
Latham.
Okay. Real quick before we go to break. I've seen this comment floating around social media since I left Boudreaux's, by the way. Okay. I think, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. I think everybody but KJ, and I would even say KJ, I think everybody needs to be stripped of their captain rank on that team. And I think they need to earn it. I think they need to earn and of course, I've been watching too much Remember the Titans, but they need to earn the right to wear that Razorback on their helmet.
This was bad. I mean, this is just it's ugly. It's
and
just
the sad part about it is I felt like I saw this coming. I had hopes. That we had turned the corner when we played Western Carolina. And then Kent State happened, and now tonight, which is, again, it's a step up in competition, but you still cannot tell me that BYU was that much more
if
aggressive
Arkansas, if Arkansas is who we are supposed to believe them to be, you cannot lose this game at home.
No,
you can't. You just can't do it. And the being undisciplined and having all the penalties you have one specific player have 3 penalties in 5 plays. And so here to go back to Carolyn's point there, that's a rough patch for a player. Why not pull him out and put somebody else in? Are we injured to the point where we're that thin on the line that we can't put somebody else in?
MC, we've heard all preseason. Depth. We finally have depth at all positions. We finally have depth.
Yeah.
Hello. I mean, if KJ shits the bed, you're going to put Jacoby Criswell in? Are we going to pull in Alabama and put him in the second half and see if he does any better?
I mean, I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. This was terrible, terrible loss. And I mean, there's enough blame to go around. And it starts at the top, man. I was told a long time ago, shit rolls downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Starts at the top, and it goes downhill. So, I mean, there's enough of it to go around.
We're going to continue the discussion on the other side of the break. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Calling all local craft beer connoisseurs. Little Oktoberfest, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas, is just around the corner, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to sample some of the best craft beers from across the state. Saturday, September 23rd at War Memorial Stadium from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets now. Oh, and ITHP will be broadcasting live with me, Razorback Zach, and D-Mad from the Man Cave. So stop by and say hey to the guys. Little Oktoberfest 2023, benefiting the Miracle League of Arkansas. Saturday, September 23rd, 6 to 9 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. We'll see you there. right, welcome back to post-game coverage of Arkansas BYU, where BYU defeats Arkansas 38-31. Razorback Zach hanging out with you in the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. My boy from the weekly show, Marcus MC Carlton, has come back to the promised land. I hate that it's in a loss, though, dude. But I mean,
It's a rough one, man.
You knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought we had at least a week or so before we started talking about.
We should. I mean, we should be talking about a win tonight. And I thought there was a possibility. You know, I didn't get to come on Wednesday night, but had I come on Wednesday night, I was going to say, you know, look, we should win this game. I think it'll be close. I think it might be a barn burner, a squeaker, whatever you want to call it, but we should come out on top of this game. And
Caddy once again says, I don't think KJ is being held back. I think he is overthinking and not paying attention to his players downfield. I think they gave up the second when BYU scores the first time. And you kind of did see the air come out of that offense when that happened.
That trick play, that was a beautiful play call on the trick play. I'll give BYU that. Because
Dylan, as soon as that happened, I texted Dylan. I said, I want a breakdown of this play and what the hell happened. But you're right. I mean, Katie's right to a point. He's not going through his progressions like he used to, because number one, and it proved it tonight, he doesn't have time.
Yeah.
His offensive line,
that's a big piece.
His offensive line was not blocking, didn't have enough time to block. Daniel Helm says, yep, I totally agree. Completely changed the mentality of the team last year, and it was obvious watching the team the rest of the season. The coaching staff is responsible for getting those players to turn the page, but they couldn't get that done. Here's the thing. Did we make progress from Western Carolina to BYU? And yes, I know we played Kent State between that, but my point is, did you make improvements between game 1 and game 3? Because now the tune-ups are done. The tune-ups are done, MC.
Yeah.
We're about to play big boy ball here.
Yeah.
This is it. All right, you got the Battle of the Boot coming up 1 week from tonight, okay, in Death Valley at 6 o'clock.
Night game in Death Valley, and they're coming off of a really good performance today.
So there's an LSU fan that likes to bicker with me back and forth at Boudreaux's, and he was just 9 kinds of liquored up, already talking his shit to me. And going into the game, when it was 14-0, I was like, we got you. And by the time halftime came around, I was like, I'm not so sure about this game.
Yeah.
It just – let's see. Y'all keep it coming. We really enjoy you guys being in the Harris.
Yeah, appreciate you staying up late with us tonight. But this was one that I think there was a lot of people not ready to go to sleep and needed to get some of this off their chest.
I will tell you this. I can't talk for MC because I know he's got kids, but I will go as long as you guys are hanging out with us.
My kid's done gone to sleep, man.
Sam Jones says the fact Sam Pittman did not have this team prepared to play tonight is unforgivable. Going on 4th down, up 10 is unforgivable. Not having plays scripted and ready to go on last drive is unconscionable. Pittman is in over his head when the lights come on. Here's the thing.
Can't argue with that.
Here's the thing. All right. It was very obvious that at one point we had BYU on the ropes. They were tired. They were slowing.
Third quarter.
Why? Where? Somebody answer me this, because apparently I'm 10 kinds of stupid here. Where's the tempo offense? Where was the no huddle that we used to run?
We didn't have any of it tonight.
I haven't seen it all once. I haven't seen it all season. I haven't seen it in 3 games.
What happened to the plays where we're looking more than 10 yards downfield for a receiver? And how many times tonight did we have 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and we throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage?
Thank you.
I mean, now we jumped Kendall Briles' ass for that 1,000 times last year.
You've got a quarterback. Here's the thing, and I'm going to say that I love the Hogs. I'm going to keep cheering for them. I did it during Chad Morris era. I did it during John L.
Look, if that didn't break you, nothing will.
Let's not push the envelope that much. Let's not push the envelope that much. All right. Just don't. But I will. But here's the thing. The whole thing of KJ being on records watch and all these records that he might break don't mean a damn thing if he goes less. Now, if he stinks up, if he shits the bed, if he like tonight, and we don't win out. See, this was the barometer test. Okay, this was the measure. This was the point where you look at this when you saw this game and you go, okay, here's where we actually see where we sit for the season. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We're fucked. Hate me if you want to. Somebody had to say it. I'm the one that says it. There's a reason I have the title loudest mouth in the fan base. All right. I'm the Jimmy Hart here, people. What does Bijan Jackson have to say about this?
Okay, yeah. So I kind of got distracted on this. Bijan Jackson, if you guys remember, played for I think he played for Bielema, I believe. Mm-hmm. Pretty solid player during his time here. I believe he went to high school somewhere up in Northwest Arkansas, one of the Bentonville schools, Rogers, whatever, somewhere up in there. Bijan Jackson has 3 pretty good tweets right here, back to back. Oldest one. I'm going to make this just a little bigger and take us off for just a second. I want to start at the bottom here and work our way up. He says, and that one was actually on September 10th when he made that one. He said the success we have this year depends on the development of this offensive line. Defense isn't great, but with the skill players we have, we could probably outscore pretty much anybody. I'm not too concerned yet. That was on September 10th. 30 minutes ago. It doesn't matter where else improvements are made. If this offensive line doesn't improve significantly, we'll be lucky to see 4 wins, not to even mention KJ's overall health. That's a solid point. And then here's one, and this last one here is a great point that nobody has brought up yet, but I think it's worth talking about. Satania should be touching the ball 10 to 15 times minimum a game. We've seen enough to know that he could be one of the most dangerous offensive weapons that this program has ever had. That is an excellent point in my opinion. Why is Satania not seeing the field other than returns? Why? I mean, is he a bad route runner? Can he not get separation? If you're going to run all these little dump passes behind the line of scrimmage, why not give it to arguably the fastest guy on the whole team?
I've said from game one, something doesn't seem right about this whole team. Okay? It doesn't. KJ doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look like the KJ we thought we'd see. Rocket is fucking MIA.
Well, he got hurt in Little Rock at the game at Little Rock. That's when he hurt his knee.
And that's a whole nother story for another time.
By the way,
I'm just going to throw this little nugget out here. Colorado is trailing by 7 right now, 21-14, 9:40 to go in the third quarter, if anybody cares.
Apparently, Travis Hunter got hurt on a cheap shot earlier in the game. I just saw the replay of it, and it was a pretty blatant cheap shot by Colorado State. But
I mean, that one's going to throw down. All right, so yeah. I gotta address this real quick. And Brandon Laughlin, that's my dude. All right, that's one of my dudes. But I got to call you out. I love you, dude, but I'm about to take you to the woodshed. This has got to be the most asinine comment I have seen come out of you in God knows how long. And let me explain why. There's a reason neither one of them are no longer here. Okay? But he's down here begging now. Look at this. He's like, please don't. Please don't. I don't want either one of them back because there's a reason they're not here. Okay? I don't want Gus Malzahn. Now, I love Houston Nutt. Houston Nutt was my coach growing up. Okay? That was my coach. I met Houston Nutt several times. All right? I watched Resurgence. I still want to run through a fucking wall for him. But there's a reason He's not here anymore. There's a reason Bobby P's not here anymore. And it's not the blonde, and it's not the bike, okay? It's not the scandal with Houston Nutt, okay? You have to bring in fresh blood, okay? Because I don't want Bobby P, because look at what's going on down at Texas A&M right now. All right, that's hilarious to watch.
He may be head coach down there before the season's over.
I was going to say he may be head coach before the season's out. But and again, y'all heard me for give him time. Give him time. He's not. Take me to the woodshed if you want to. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. I probably at this rate deserve it. You got to let KJ be KJ. You have to play. You've got to quit turning these players into something that they're not. Okay? You've got to quit turning these players into something that they're not. I'm shifting, by the way. You cannot turn this pro-style offense of just handcuffing KJ to the pass is not working. He can pass it a mile. But KJ is a dual threat quarterback. Use him as such. There's a reason. And I'm almost to the point, and again, I'm an armchair quarterback. I'm an armchair coach. All right. I've never played the game of football, but I have analyzed it. Yes, I'm that kind of person. I may play the fool at times, but I'm smarter than I look most days. If Rocket's out and AJ Green, Dominic Johnson, who's the other one out? Debinion, Augustive, or however you pronounce his name.
I think that's right.
If they're not getting it done,
we didn't see him tonight.
If they're not, but MC, if they're not getting it done, run the hell out of KJ. He has proven he can take the hits. These fuckers bounce right off of him. Yep. Justin Poe says, I understand not wanting to get KJ hurt in the game. I understand not wanting him to get physical. Who's your backup quarterback? If KJ gets hurt, you lose the game. If KJ gets seriously hurt, you lose the season.
Well, the way it looks right now, there may not be much of a season to lose with him playing. So,
realistically, with the O-line the way it is, let's fast forward a week and play and talk about the LSU game for just a second. Because Justin's got a legit point.
Yeah.
I want to put it in realistic terms, though. KJ gets hurt. You put in Jacoby Criswell, who is a Division I quarterback. He is not the crybaby that Malik Hornsby was, who, might I add, did not play again today. Right there. Called that bullshit. I'm on one. I'm sorry. I am not the regular Razorback Zach during our weekly show. This is, like I said, it's ITHP after dark out here.
Yeah.
But you put Jacoby Criswell in. He's proven that he can throw the ball and can take a hit. Mm-hmm. But with the offensive line the way it is, with as porous as this offensive line is, they're going to kill him. The LSU's defensive line would put him in the dirt. So yeah, Justin is legit. I mean, he's got a
legit point.
He does.
But at the same time, part of what makes KJ is his ability to truck people and, not having to necessarily. I go back to that one play where he had a chance to truck a safety that's about my size, about 5'0" nothing. Now that dude's got a lot less body fat percentage than I've got, but I mean, the dude was not very big. He was 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, he was my height.
KJ's sitting there about 6'4", 250. If this was last year or 2021, KJ trucks that dude and gets his 6 points.
Carrie's story says, "Don't hate on Bobby. KJ would be Lamar 2.0 if we had Petrino coaching." Okay, possibly. But look at what Lamar's doing in the league right now.
Well, a lot of that's not entirely his fault. He doesn't have a lot to work with in Baltimore either.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda at this point. Okay,
he won the Heisman. I mean, but
Carolyn, who was at the game, her first Razorback game in quite a while,
Sorry you had to see that.
She still had fun, I think. But there's not a player on the team that was running north to south, not receivers after catch, not the backs, not anyone.
I noticed that. I noticed a lot of east and west running tonight, and we even saw the jet sweep tonight to Tesla. And speaking of, what happened to Tesla tonight? What happened to him? I think he had 4 catches for like 20 yards. I mean, what was he not getting separation? Were we not seeing him? There
was a couple of times that KJ could have thrown the ball and could have gotten either a first down, additional yards after catch. Hell, I think at one point, had he thrown the ball, the tight end was Haas was wide open to the end zone, and KJ took off.
I don't know, man. It's just everything was just after the punt return.
Yeah. Adam Green says, I'm drunk and this loss still hurts. Every freaking year. Win the freaking games you're supposed to win and be competitive in the ones you're supposed to be. Lose the fucking games you're supposed to lose. Fuck. I mean, you can't ask any more than that, but at the same time.
Well, and
if you're not prepared, this is the result.
The last 2 years now, we've seen Pittman lose a game that he had no business losing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've heard the comparisons. He's the football Mike Anderson. He's Brett Bielema 2.0. Yeah, I kind of took offense to the Mike Anderson one the first time I heard it, but
that one
it's kind of like, that there may be something there,
That one made me sit for a minute. I mean,
that one kind of hits close to home, man.
The Bielema thing I can kind of see, but the MA one, that one just kind of the fuck.
Well, and I can see the similarities between him and Anderson because get the program back on solid footing.
Yeah.
But the ceiling is not very high. Not that much above basically mediocrity. And I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but I just
Dwight Raleigh hit the nail on the head, by the way. He says last week's game showed our weakness and BYU just capitalized and cashed in. 100%. They did. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. They watched us play against a lesser opponent.
Yep.
And they said, okay, we got this.
And they honestly still tried to give it to us.
And they still tried to stick it to us. Carolyn says you go off on people being gone for a reason. Well, Enos was gone for a reason. His bring back sucks. I'm a little slow.
I'm not impressed with.
I'm a little slow, MC. Can you dumb that down? His bring back. His okay. I got it. Never mind. Just kidding. Like I said, I'm a little slow here, y'all.
I'm not impressed with this play calling so far. I thought we would be a little better than what I've seen to this point.
Well, I mean, 56-13, 28-6.
And you give up 38 this week.
We're regressing, dude. 3-9, 9-3, 7-6 to 2-1 currently, as it stands.
And looking at the next 4 weeks on the schedule, dude, you could be 2-5 when you come back home.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. For the next 6 weeks, I'm just gonna watch the Texas-Arkansas game from 2021.
I mean, you go LSU, you go to Arlington to play Aggie, you go to Ole Miss, you go to Alabama. Can you come out of that 1-3 now?
I really thought we were going to do 2-2. I really did because
that's what I picked. I thought we would find a way to win 2 games.
Going in, well, I mean, but even going into the game today, watching Alabama struggle, Ole Miss didn't really struggle, but watching LSU lose to Florida State week 1. I was like, okay, watching Florida collapse.
Watching Tennessee, lay an egg today at the Swamp.
I mean,
I assume Ole Miss beat Georgia Tech tonight. I haven't seen that score.
Let me see if I can get you guys a score update before we get out of here tonight. I'll give you an SEC score update. All right,
48-23.
Here are your SEC's. Here's your SEC scores update from around the conference. LSU beats Mississippi State 41-14. Missouri beats Kansas State 30-27. And if Missouri can beat a top 15 team, why can't we beat BYU? I'm still stuck on that. Georgia beats South Carolina 24-14. Alabama sneaks, and I'm going to use the word sneaks by South Florida 17-3. A&M beats UL Monroe 47-3. Florida upsets number 11 Tennessee 29-16. Auburn handles Samford 45-13. Vanderbilt drops one to UNLV 40-37. Ole Miss beats Georgia Tech 48-23. And, of course, BYU beats Arkansas 38-31, and Kentucky beats Akron 35-3. So there's your SEC score update from around the conference.
Here's a good I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you were
No, I was just going to say we've got one game currently in progress still. It's Colorado State, and that game currently is in the third quarter. 4 minutes to go, 21-14. Colorado State. So the prime experiment.
Come on.
Prime experiment could be crashing to the ground.
We got a whole quarter to go, man. We got a whole quarter to go. I believe. Don't make it personal with me now. Don't make it personal.
Carolyn says, I believe Missouri is now on top of the SEC West. They're actually in the SEC East, not the West.
Yeah.
But yes, I think hell has frozen over when Missouri can beat a top 15 team, and we can't even beat BYU.
Hey, go back to Carrie's comment about beating LSU.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good place for everybody to kind of focus on. You know, we've all had our time to air the grievances and kind of get the nasty taste out of our mouth. But Carrie's got a great point here. We're still undefeated in the SEC. Okay. You flush tonight, you get it out of your system. You flush it, you get it over with. You look at the tape, you go work on what you got to work on. Apparently we got to work on not holding and offensive line play, but you go work on it. If you go down to Death Valley and you pull something off, everybody feels better.
Justin makes a good point. He says the good thing is that the rest of the SEC isn't that good either. Georgia didn't even look dominant against South Carolina.
Georgia had, to quote Funny Lane, struggle win. They had a struggle.
Funny man, struggle win.
Bama had a struggle win too. Bama, I was concerned that Bama was not going to win today because
if Bama would have lost this,
they couldn't do anything.
If Bama would have lost this game, Saban would have come out Monday morning. All right, been a good 20 years. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, deuces. I'm out.
No, looking ahead to next week, MC. Let's kind of put a bow on this and look forward to LSU next week. Quick programming note. We will have our regular show Wednesday night, and then Saturday, I will be broadcasting live all afternoon, live from the 2023 Litter Oktoberfest. I will try not to have any interruptions in programming, but your boy runs out of breath because he's fat and out of shape. We'll be broadcasting all day. We'll have updates all afternoon. End of the night, and I will be emceeing the event. Get out to Litter Oktoberfest 2023, War Memorial Stadium. It all goes to a good cause, and your boy's going to be the MC of the event that night, 6 to 9 p.m. You can get tickets at the door. They do have what they call DD packages. It's $25. You get a Coke, you get a hot dog, and there's games. We'll have the Razorback game on somewhere in the stadium. Dylan will be on the field. D-Matt will be with me. And we're gonna have a good time, but we're gonna try to do post game next week.
I should be. So I've got to go to Kansas City next weekend for a work conference. I should be to my room. Hopefully, I'm going to be there before the LSU game starts, but I will definitely be around for post game next week. I'll just be doing it from my hotel room.
Monday morning, I will be calling the cardiologist because, like I say every week. Make sure you guys consult your doctors and make sure your heart's healthy enough for Razorback Sports. This is the reason why. Until Wednesday night, Final thoughts on this thing, MC?
This was just a bad one. You just got to put it behind you. You got to move forward. It's always talked about you celebrate a win for 24 hours and then you put it behind you and you start moving forward. I would think you would sit around, pout, let this nasty taste in your mouth for, I'm going to cut it down to 12, give you 12 hours. So I'm going to give you till about noon tomorrow. And then noon tomorrow, flush it, get it out of your system, get ready for LSU and SEC play.
For those of us in the Central Time Zone, I gave you 2 minutes because at 2 minutes it'll be midnight. No, I'm kidding. Hope everybody has a great week, great rest of your weekend. NFL's tomorrow. Hopefully my Cowboys can go 2-0. Hopefully my Cowboys can go 2-0. We're probably one of the few stadiums Taylor Swift did not play in. Wink, wink, hint, hint, if you get my point. But until Wednesday night, 7 p.m., same Hawg time, same Hawg channel. We're going to be back with you live, breaking it all down, getting you ready for Battle of the Boot.
Yep.
Until then, for Marcus, MC, Carlton, I'm Razorback Zach. You've been watching ITHP Game Day postgame. BYU defeats Arkansas 38-31. Until Wednesday, so long, everybody.